Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, Patreon, and anything else I usually go about on Twitter X. I didn't manage to publish an episode yesterday. I tried to record something, but then I got off. The internet was off basically all day. Was some technical error from the provider there, and only like very very late at night I did manage to publish the Death Stranding episode. And I didn't manage to in the meantime publish the video that I basically made at the time, because some of the things were updated. We got some stuff out of what I wanted to cover, especially the cyberpunk stuff there. But yeah, other than that, let's go to the news. Interesting stuff regarding the hardware movements in terms of GPUs. Even though, again, NVIDIA is on the mind share of most players there in basically almost every market. Interesting stuff is always comes up from the German market, specifically from AMD, given the CPUs for some time now are the best selling there. And similarly, the 9070 XT is the best selling GPU for some time now, also since it came out. And in the last month, it seemingly this comes from like their kind of the big reseller in German Mind Factory, which we can equate, I think, like Micro Center on the US market. And yeah, as you can see, the 9070 XT and 9060 XT are the big sellers here, given that the 9070 XT sold 470 units and the second place 9060 XT basically half of that, given that 40 of the 255 are 8 gigabyte units, so less, so basically half of the 16 gigabyte variants. And even the NVIDIA ones that sell the best at this moment, again, the 5060 Ti, I assume it's the 16 gigabyte variant, if not mistaken, and the 5070 Ti also sold around 125 units. Even the 9070 non-XT sells better than the 5080, 5070s. Then you got still older GPUs like the 7800 XT, even the 7900 XTX sold some 100, not 100, sorry, some 30 units. Yeah, 30 units there. Yeah, it seems that again, European markets usually are more conscious about a good price to performance or best value in terms of hardware. And it seems that, at least on the European market, it seems that AMD seems to be the better choice. Again, from all the reviews and all the graphs that I've been seeing and comparing prices, again, the higher end we don't have better from the AMD at this moment in time, which is the 9070 XT. Seems to be a good value if it is found round about the MSRP. And again, while competing directly with against the 5070 Ti, as you can see, it just smashed in terms of sales, specifically on the German market there. And even on the other markets, again, I think there is a huge difference in terms of price, around $200, give or take, almost. But yeah, it seems that hopefully AMD can squeeze a little bit more of market share in terms of GPU sales comparatively with NVIDIA, because again, when we start brewing more competition, it's always going to be better for us consumers in the long term. I don't have a lot of information regarding Intel. There is some pro GPUs that they are launching, but I'm not sure if they're going to launch the remaining of the supposed Battle Mage GPUs for the DIY market. Again, they are basically restructuring everything from the ground up almost. Even the new CEO came and said that they are way behind, specifically on the AI accelerator market there. So we'll have to see what they are going to conjure up in the next, I don't know, couple of years on the DIY market. I think they probably are going to do something more on the APU side of things, because of the handheld and laptop market. Usually, it's a big market in terms of sales. and probably also to try and captivate and hedge that technology uh, can be better translated to mass production of other kind of chips and all that jazz. But yeah, some a lot of interesting stuff there. But yeah, AMD sells well on Germany, which is interesting to see. In terms of games, we got here for this is from yesterday. Supposedly Fallout 5 is fully greenlit again, according to a new report. But then again, we still have from Bethesda been very silent regarding Starfield. Supposedly they should have been launching like at least a major expansion every year or so, or every 6 months. Again, I don't know what the plan there is. It seems that basically are betting more on the modding shop there than anything else, trying to squeeze money out of everybody there. And then we still have what I suppose is their main project at this moment, which is the Elder Scrolls 6, which again I don't know. I'm very skeptical what might come out of Bethesda, mainly because of the kind of what we can consider a flop regarding Starfield. Again, new IP and everything, but again, in terms of what they're trying to achieve in scope, my main concern is their own game engine. Again, as a open world universe per se, I don't see. I didn't see in terms of gameplay systems and how the engine can handle stuff there, of what the scope there we're trying to bring to that game. Again, a lot of one of the main problems was the loading screens. Every time you do something, there's a loading screen, so it's not immersive. I think it turned down a lot of people there. At the time of the videos that they were showing, I mentioned at the time that there was a lot of heavy editing on the game, even on the gameplay footage that they were showing, which worried me at the time because of the loading screens that, for example, got from Fallout 4. Even there was a lot of loading. You enter in a building, there's a loading screen. You exit, there's a loading screen for almost everything, which is a little bit worrying. But yeah, they really think I think they really need to upgrade their engine to avoid the lack of immersiveness that we've been seeing, specifically from Fallout 3. I played that game, which at the time 2008 or so. Again, I can excuse the engine not being able to provide the immersive experience, but Fallout 4 was a little bit jarring. And then with Starfield in the scope that they want to bring, something like that, it was very noticeable from the videos that I've been watching. Then I don't know how this will going to be translated to the Elder Scrolls open world. If you're going every time you enter in a hut, you're going to have a loading screen or something like that. This is going to be very, very difficult. And even, for example, entering a cavern or something like that, you have a loading screen again. People are not are starting to demand a little bit more quality in that sense. We've been seeing a lot of, for example, I played a lot of Death Stranding. Everything is pretty smooth. The only loading screen that you not even the loading screen, but the only transition that you have is when you rest on the private shelter. You got those little cutscenes, but other than that, even I think in terms of open world, I think the engines managed to do a great job of providing a kind of immersive experience. But yeah, it's my main concern. It's the engine. It seems a little bit older, even though they managed to update in terms of lighting and texture wise, a little bit more visual quality there. But again, even the game systems, the what they call the locales on when you land on the planet, very repetitive, also very not a lot of handcrafted stuff. But yeah, uh, hopefully they learned from Starfield and they improving there on the Elder Scrolls 6, and then the fact that Fallout 5 is greenlit again. I'm assuming it's in pre-production to a certain degree, and I will assume they will only be able to enter in full production basically and the final stages of the Elder Scrolls, when they are basically in that Q&A stage of polishing the game itself. I think then they can transition basically to a full production mode on the Fallout 5. But yeah, it will take time. I don't even know if we kind of have a no, we don't even I think supposedly Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't even have a release year. But yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit more regarding Fallout 5, even though supposedly it's greenlit. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do with that IP there. Then you got the Cyberpunk 2077, the new version of the game, so version 2.3. They did a stream regarding that. They teased this a couple of months ago, but then they paused it. I think to try and I don't know polish the and do what they need to do there, because it will come out also on Apple devices or Mac models. And also I think they also was trying to do the port for the Switch too there. But yeah, they launch again. There is no huge stuff there except for the auto driving stuff there, which you can enter in the car if you are on the street. Again, I don't think it works on open areas like in the middle of the desert, something like that. But basically, you can enter in the vehicle, choose a destination, and enable auto drive, and it will take you there through the streets. The same thing can be said for their new kind of service, let's say, which they have a taxi service now, which is fully operational and it supposedly works that way also. Then you got a little bit more vehicles, some more skins, and a little bit additions also on the photo mode. And I think in terms of technical, what they did here was the big thing is they included now VRR support for consoles. They also introduced the FSR support, FSR 4 support, the frame generation for FSR 3.1, Intel XESS 2.0, and some improved HDR settings and all that jazz. Again, nothing like new content like the DLC there, but some quality of life stuff there, and a little bit more customizations that you can do on photo mode and on the vehicle side of things. Again, I think they're trying to deliver a little bit more immersive experience there. But still, I'm still very impressed at the fact that they are being able to still work on this game, even though it's not from CD Projekt Red. This has come from Virtual Studios. I think they completely stopped working. CD Projekt Red, that is, they completely stopped working on the game, even though they are supervising what Virtuous Studios are doing with these new updates that are being launching. I don't know if they're going to do more stuff in the future. I did a quick survey of the stream there, but then again, they were talking about they're going too much in depth with the auto drive stuff, then the customization on the vehicles. So I skipped a little bit there, and they went in the deep dive mode on the photo stuff that you can do there. It's something that I usually don't use that much, so it doesn't interest me that much there. But yeah, so basically, new quest vehicles, photo mod features, and some technical stuff regarding VR support for consoles, and some upscaling and frame generation support there, and some improvements on the HDR settings there, which is interesting to see again. And also some patches of specific stuff. Other than that, again, the game seems to be improving overall because they are continuing to support and work on that game. Then we got some couple of stuff here from Steam. I'm not sure if I covered this one regarding Steam reviews and the fact that there was a game that were basically trying to circumvent the rules. They were not circumventing; they were completely not abiding by the rules regarding the Steam reviews, which is basically you cannot abuse or artificially manipulate the review system. For example, don't solicit reviews in exchange for any games, DLC, money, or other rewards, and don't ask customers to review your product from within your application. And what they were doing here, Blue Archive for the game, which is Blue Archive game from Nexon, sorry, was released recently, and they violated basically the rules by announcing an event scheduled run between 4th and 11th of July, where players would receive in-game content if Blue Archive Steam reviews reach the developer's next goal of 10,000 reviews in total. Again, this is completely out of bounds for the rules. Some players start catching up on this, starting making a fuss out of it, of course, and I think they did well. Um, they basically give up on this because again they were calling Steam attention to this situation, and they basically terminate the event. Hopefully, this is serves as a warning for no shenanigans happening regarding the Steam rules. But on the other side of things, we got the Steam updated their rules for developers to the prohibit content that run afoul of the Nebula standards or payment processors. Um, this one is a little bit more. I don't like that much this rule that's set forward regarding this payment processes here. We've been seeing this for some months now of payment processors like Visa, Mastercard, and even PayPal. They've been throwing around their weight in that sense to try ban content from any kind of company, uh, and it's not going good. And this is affecting Steam on what they can publish to a certain degree. So basically, they are, let's say, being pressured by these payment processors to ban content on Steam. And one of the rules that was updated was content that might violate the rules and standards set forth by Steam's payment processors and related card networks and banks or internet network providers, in particular certain kinds of adult content. Again, for the moment, what it seems to be banned per se were some 18 plus games, specifically some porn games, I think they are called. Most of them regarding some incest games, and again, I don't know. I block all the 18 plus stuff there regarding sexual content on Steam, because it's not for my liking. But again, I saw some stuff on X regarding this that's saying that it's good. They want this on Steam. But the main thing is when you start on the censorship, you always the usually the strategy is you always start with the most egregious stuff there. In this case, these sexual content games that are on Steam, and then you start to trickle down on what these payment processors might consider something that they are not willing to allow on the platform, by not making those payments processed. And it can be, for example, I don't know, anything that has guns on it because we are anti-gun, or anything that might be, I don't know, let's say we've been seeing a lot of stuff regarding, for example, Marvel Rivals, and the censorship regarding, for example, Stellar Braid, people saying that it's overly sexual or it has some male gay stuff there. If the payment processor starts thinking, oh, maybe this game is showing too much butt or too much, I don't know, a body of a woman, we are not going to process the payments there. Again, censorship is a very very tricky road to go ahead on this, and I don't agree on principle. Even though for me, what at this moment they censor on Steam or removed from Steam, again, it's not something that is catered to me. But I don't think it. I don't think it serves the best interest for me, because I don't know when these payment processors will start. I don't know, start censoring stuff, or want Steam to remove some games that I like to play, and they will be removing those from Steam because they don't like it, but I like it. And the same thing can happen to you or anybody else that has different tastes from me. For example, first person shooters, or RPGs or gacha games or whatever it is. If they start feeling picky about it, let's say they can even go, for example, any Asian or Eastern Asian developer, we don't like them, they don't cater to our taste, so we'll stop processing payments for Steam if you don't remove anything that comes, for example, from Black Myth Wukong developers, something like that. It's something that might happen because it's not Steam deciding by itself to a certain degree. It's the pressure from these payment processors. And this has already been affecting other markets, mainly regarding manga and anime, in terms of specifically manga. On Japan, of certain genres of manga and to a certain degree also anime or other stuff that it's been involved there, they are refusing to process payments there. And this is not going on a good turn because it's them trying to leverage their power of processing those payments for the company. If you don't do this, we will not process the payment. And this is not a good road to delve into. And again, as a principle, I don't think censorship is the best way to go about it. And I think there's needs to be a response. I don't know what response here, but I think there needs to be or maybe some alternatives to go regarding this situation. I don't know. Because at this moment, for example, you can avoid using Visa Mastercard by, I don't know, if it is available, the gift card stuff there, you pay directly in cash on the counter of a shop to have some balance on Steam wallet. Um, but I use sometimes PayPal, but I don't have Visa or Mastercard. I usually avoid using those services. But yeah, as a matter of principle, even though the games that were shelved or banned or removed or delisted, it's not something for me. That doesn't mean, and even if you consider very tasteless or that they are again, the fact that they are being banned, it's not a good it's not a good step, because if they can ban something like this, they will eventually creep in and start banning other stuff that they don't like and start imposing their position on Steam. And this is talking about games. We saw this with when they start deplatforming people, the pressure that they start putting, for example, the more egregious ones at the time from, I don't know, a few years ago. I completely forgot the guy. The guy had the Greek name, Papadopoulos. No, not Papadopoulos. This is another guy. Um, but for example, when they start censoring, is the most, I don't know, extreme cases, let's say, of one side, which is, for example, Alex Jones, I think also Nick Fuentes. When they start always by the extremes. So they make people comply and agree with this kind of things. And then when you notice everybody that you listen to or you were used to follow up on the internet, they stop being deplatformed because they say something that were not in the interest of the powers that be, let's say. And this can basically gel to a certain degree with this situation on Steam. I don't like censorship. For example, here on Steam, if you don't like these mature games or sexual content there, you can avoid it. The same thing that you can avoid listening to somebody that you don't like on any social media platform by mute or block. Those are the purpose there, because to a certain degree, I think we should consider virtual spaces to a certain degree as physical spaces, because again, the fact that you have in front of you somebody that you don't like, it doesn't mean that you're going to ban that person of life. Of course, you just can go about and not listen to that person or avoid that person the best as you can. But I think in the digital space there are other ways that you can do that and still use the same virtual space without being stressed out or being bothered with it. Yeah, I don't like this thing with Steam. I don't know what can we do as customers. Uh, Maybe stop using Visa, Mastercard, or trying to avoid using PayPal or something like that, so they don't have the same kind of stranglehold. Or I don't know if somebody has the enough resources to create an alternative method that it's censorship free of doing any kind of pressure on this. But yeah, at this moment, I'm being using the gift card option, so I can avoid being dependent on the third parties to process payments that I want to when I want to buy games for myself there. But yeah, I don't know what we can do here in terms of as customers putting pressure on Steam and said, no, this rule is not it's not the rule that we want. You need to arrange an alternative way or something like that. Again, I don't know how or what to do here, but it's something that I don't like as a principle. The fact that where I have my gaming library to be dependent on pressure of other third parties, given that it's me that it's spending the money to buy the games and having the games. I don't think a payment processor should have the power to decide what it is or not on the storefront of Steam. I think if something like that is should be dependent on the customers themselves, because they are the ones that are spending the money to get the products. But yeah, this is what I got here for today. We're going to wrap up with some gaming deals. We still have a little bit time here for Batman Arkham Collection, 85% off. The same thing can be said for Bioshock the collection, so it's the trilogy. We got also Control Ultimate Edition, is still on sale until the 21st. We got jusant until the 28th, 55% off. We still have No Man's Sky, 60% off on a deal here. 20 plus update contents already delivered since launch. We still have Pacific Drive, 50% off. It's one of those games that I want to try out one of these days. And then finally, Red Dead Redemption is still on sale, 75% off. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here with a plug my Patreon as usual for extra support. That extra support is more in line for me to try and get a better storage solution so I can have backups of the stuff that I do with my clients, and some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.